Phil Keating is among our reporters on the Atlantic coast of Florida tonight. He joins us now from Melbourne, Florida. Well, Phil, what's it like now?
It keeps getting worse. I will say that. It is howling. You can hear the wind, which you really couldn't hear that significantly before. It's just that howl going down the street. And in fact, you can see, fortunately, the street lights, which have gone off 3 times now, but they've always come back on. You can really see that rain just flying down the street with the wind. Now, what you're looking at here, the direction that the rain and wind is going here, that's southbound on US 1. So since the winds are coming from the south, that's classic counterclockwise rotation of the hurricane, because the eye, the center of the storm, is still to the southeast of where we are here on the Palm Bay, Melbourne city line. So it's around Vero Beach, same latitude as that right now, but it's still heading northward. And so far in Brevard County, which is the Space Coast and where we are, 20,000 people now have no power. And statewide, Florida Power and Light's reporting about 200,000 Floridians now without power. And keep this in mind, the hurricane is only halfway up the state. So as it goes further up the upper half of the state, the eye wall is going to be closer to the coastline, maybe even crossing into land in the mainland. And undoubtedly, you're going to be seeing a whole lot more people losing electricity. And the governor and Emergency Operations Center directors are saying you can expect many Floridians, if not millions of them, are going to end up having no power. And it may not just be for 3 or 5 days. It could be a week. It could even be 2 weeks. But the utility companies in Florida, Florida Power and Light and Duke Energy, ever since 2004 and 2005, those very bad hurricane years, they did invest millions and millions of dollars trying to strengthen up all the lines, burying a lot of lines. And in southern Florida today, in the bottom 3 counties, Palm Beach County, Broward County, and Miami-Dade County, where it's significantly almost fine conditions down there right now, especially in Broward and Miami-Dade. The rain has really ceased, and the winds are very light. And that's the story for the whole Florida coastline as it marches north. You're going to get a full day of hellacious howling activity like this, and then it's going to get better, and it's going to get worse for the people way up further north. So up next here, we've got Melbourne, then we've got the Space Coast, Cape Canaveral. After that's going to be Daytona Beach. After that, New Smyrna Beach. After that, we're going to be hitting Jacksonville, and there's already power outages in Jacksonville, and this is still hours away from the center of the storm reaching Jacksonville. But these conditions are certainly blustery. We did just see a couple of people out walking the dog who were staying at this hotel, and they were struggling, and the dog as well, struggling to stay on their feet out there in the rain and wind. It's Category 3, and right here it's about 70. I don't know if it's probably 60s, the wind speed, but gusts, I'm guessing, are hitting at least 70, maybe a little higher.
Did people make use of the shelters that were open? The governor talked so much about all of the various shelters being made available for folks.
Yeah, they really did. People, especially those who perhaps don't have the means to get hotel rooms, plus yesterday and today, getting a hotel room before the storm actually hit became next to impossible. We were trying to find one this morning, and we got lucky that we found the last room at this property here. So a lot of those people, tens of thousands, have now hunkered down in shelters. There's more than 130 of them open in the state. Of course, there's 3,500 National Guardsmen and women that have been activated. That is likely to increase. The governor said he's never activated that many guardsmen and women in his now 2 terms as governor. He's still in his 2nd term here. So that really underlines the significance and the severity of the destruction and the calamitous nature that the forecast for this hurricane does deliver. And so far, forecasters and what you could expect to see are pretty much on the money. A lot still depends, as Rick Reichmuth was saying, how far west towards the coastline the eye of the storm, the center of the storm, where the strongest, most fierce winds are, gets to the coastline as we head up, because the storm surge really could send a lot of floodwaters up to 10 feet inland. Yeah,
it could change in a moment. It's amazing to me. This time, you're talking about people out there with you walking their dog. The last time we checked in with you, there was a family, mom and dad, pushing their baby in a crib down the street. You've covered a lot of these. I mean, you've been based there in Miami. What is your feeling? I mean, it's called the storm of the century. How can you compare it to others that you've covered at this point?
Yeah, I'd say the one thing I thought of earlier this morning was I don't think I've seen it this bad since Hurricane Katrina, when we were riding that one out as it arrived in the city. We were downtown near the French Quarter over in the business district, and it was, that was the first time I'd covered a hurricane where you're inside a very urban city with tall buildings all over the place, and there were built, glass windows falling off very high floors, and curtains flying out everywhere, and windshields and cars and trucks that were basically exploding from the change in pressure. This one, it's similar to that in how strong the wind is coming through, without a doubt.
Phil Keating, thanks very much in Melbourne, Florida. We'll be back with you. Long night for everybody, and thank you so much.
You're doing a great job down there for us.